Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another episode of TEW 2020 WWE here, as we are back with another episode. WrestleMania Backlash and Vengeance are very much in the rear view window, and we continue to move towards our May premium live events / pay-per-view specials. Of course, No Mercy and Battleground is what we're going with, isn't it? Smackdown's No Mercy and Raw and NXT's Battleground. A lot's already started moving in regard to those premium live events. Check out last week's episode if you haven't. But either way, let's just get into things here with, of course, starting off things, an episode of Monday Night Raw, which gets underway with the WWE Champion, Kyle O'Reilly, coming out to the ring. Kyle O'Reilly not very happy. He calls out Roderick Strong after Roderick Strong attacked him last week following O'Reilly's match with Fairchild. O'Reilly says that it seems Roderick's finally grown a spine, finally grown a backbone, and decided to stop just being Adam Cole's lapdog. Well, congratulations, Roddy. Very happy for you. But you want a shot at me? Then go ahead. But do it to my face like a man, not behind my back like a coward. So you want to step up? Come on and step up now. And Roderick Strong does come out, but not alone. He comes out accompanied by Malcolm Bivens. And Bivens having a good time, saying that Kyle, Roderick Strong has upgraded. Because you see, what you said all those months ago was very correct. Adam Cole was not the man to lead the Undisputed Era. But neither are you, Kyle. No, because Roderick Strong, he's not a follower. He's a leader. Roderick Strong, all those years ago, started in wrestling as a piece of coal. And over all these years in this business, he has molded himself through all the pressure, through all the stress and the pain, into a diamond. A diamond ready to get some gold round his waist. And it's at that point that the music of one Randy Orton hits, and Randy Orton coming out to much fanfare from the fans. They do love him. And Orton saying that Randy Orton is back on Monday Night Raw. And I dealt with the Dirty Dogs with Angel Garza, and now my attention turns to Randy Orton and what's next for Randy Orton. And very well, what's next for Randy Orton is number 15. Last time I was on Raw, I was WWE Champion, and now I'm back on Raw. I'm ready to become WWE Champion again, courtesy of the three most dangerous letters in all of sports entertainment. And before he can finish that sentence, out comes MJF. And he says, Randy, that's where you're wrong, old man. Because the three most dangerous letters in sports entertainment aren't RKO anymore. The three most dangerous letters in all of sports entertainment are MJF. The inevitable MJF. And I promised you all when I arrived that it was inevitable that I would become the WWE Champion. And as much fun as it is to watch lesser superstars step out here and try to lay claim to it, my destiny is waiting, and I don't want to wait anymore. And then out comes Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler not impressed, of course, with MJF. They had their conversation last week. Dolph Ziggler saying that, Maxwell, you ain't got it, kid. I'm the one in this ring who deserves an opportunity. I'm the one who's been waiting for his shot for too damn long to get back what is mine, the world title. And then finally out comes Drew McIntyre, very angry Drew McIntyre. You know, lost the tag titles at Mania, lost their rematch at Vengeance. He's not happy. And he says he's had about enough of sitting in the back and waiting. And it's been too damn long since Randy Orton stole that WWE Championship from him all those years ago. So Drew says that he's ready to take back what's his. Followed by a Claymore out of nowhere to Orton. Massive brawl breaking out. O'Reilly getting out the ring. Malcolm Bivens very much getting out the ring. Security separating things. Orton getting up to his feet, being separated as well as he goes through McIntyre. Maverick coming out. 24/7 title around his waist, of course. And announces main event tonight. WWE Championship #1 contenders match. Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre versus MJF versus Randy Orton versus Roderick Strong in a fatal 5-way match for a 90. Good opening segment. Very happy. Hopefully a good main event between those 5 guys. Varying levels of skill and momentum in that, so who knows? But fingers crossed it's good. And then, first match of this evening, we have Alexa Bliss taking on Peyton Royce. Alexa Bliss beat Mandy Rose last week, looking to continue building some momentum. Is Little Miss Bliss over Peyton Royce, and in the end, Alexa Bliss does come out on top, hitting the Twisted Bliss on Peyton Royce for a 74. 73 Bliss, 52 Royce, both doing well. And in the end, it is the goddess Alexa Bliss who does come out on top over Peyton Royce. She gets her arm raised before being promptly attacked by 3 figures wearing hoodies who take her down. 2 of them holding Alexa up in the end, and the third hitting a big knee before they pull down their hoods to, of course, reveal themselves as Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, and a now brunette Mandy Rose. Pretty toxic behaviour, if I do say so myself, for an 82. It's done surprisingly well there. Not that I am complaining, of course. As then, as Toxic Attraction stand tall over the fallen Alexa Bliss they've taken down, we cut to like a montage of the hardcore champion, Damian Priest. Damian Priest shows him partying, celebrating at the clubs, ordering drinks for everybody, living his life with that hardcore championship as only the Archer of Infamy can for a 94. Damian Priest clearly enjoying himself with that hardcore championship. As then we kind of cut to then Kayla Braxton interviewing a Tommaso Ciampa, who is watching a TV with this montage playing, and Ciampa is not impressed. He says that it's a disgrace, and even more so right now, he is ready to kick Priest's ass and take back my championship for a 76. Ciampa very much ready and looking forward to that fight with Damian Priest when it comes. As then, next up, we have one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Pete Dunne, taking on Sami Zayn. Last week, Kevin Owens beat Matt Riddle, and now their partners going at it one-on-one. Owens and Riddle at ringside, and a battle between Zayn and Dunne in the end. Zayn setting up for the hell of a kick, running at Dunne, but Dunne kind of shifting a little bit. Zayn's foot going over him dragging him out the corner a bit. It's got Zayn in pretty much a position perfect for him to hit him with the bitter end. As Pete Dunne comes out on top for a 93. Another incredible match. When these two teams collide, it's going to be amazing, isn't it? I mean, Sami Zayn, Pete Dunne does sound like a banger, doesn't it? It would be. Let's not question it. 88 Pete Dunne, 82 Sami Zayn, both done amazing. As Pete Dunne does get the win. Owens won for his side last week, but Dunne won for his side this week. A very even affair between Zayn and Owens and the Broserweights. With that Raw Tag title overhanging, though, who will come out on top if these two teams end up colliding, as it seems like they may very well be doing. As then, we go backstage, and we have R-Truth once again in another disguise, trying to get into Maverick's office. And Maverick's not even in his office. He just walks by, sees Truth doing it, and he says, "Stop, okay? It's pointless you coming for me, Truth. Right? I am the general manager. You can't attack me. You can't roll me up, risk me injuring my neck. So what you're going to do, Truth, you're just going to give up, and you're going to leave me and my 24/7 championship alone, okay?" And he opens the door and he closes it in Truth's face, and he goes in, and Truth's sad, mumble himself, saying he just wants his baby back. No matter what he's doing, it's just not working. All this chasing isn't working. Did somebody say Andre Chase? R-Truth perking up saying, Andre Chase? Is that Andre Chase for the infomercials for Chase University? And Andre Chase saying, yeah, you saw the infomercials? I know, like, 3 a.m. Never mind. R-Truth, I've seen your struggle in trying to get back your baby, your 24/7 championship. And honestly, Truth, this right now, you know what this feels like? This feels like a teachable moment for a 42 Andre Chase, offering his teaching services, by the sounds of it, to R-Truth in his pursuit to get back that 24/7 title. The first appearance of Andre Chase. Andre Chase is great, in my opinion. I like him. As then, it's time for the VIP Lounge. The Hurt Business making their way to the ring, of course. MVP, Bobby Lashley, Moose, not Angel Garza, Angelo Dawkins is meant to be. I apologize for that. Angelo Dawkins, Ezra Judge, and D.O. Madden. And MVP talking about the Hurt Business. CEO specific, the Almighty Bobby Lashley, your next Intercontinental Champion. Because where is Montez Ford? Still laid out on the shelf from what Lashley did to him. Where is the great Chris Jericho? Still laid out on the shelf from what Bobby Lashley did to him. And y'all can question the Almighty, but at the end of the day, Bobby Lashley is the top of his game. Bobby Lashley is peak male physique. Ain't nobody look this good as Bobby Lashley. Ain't nobody do the things Bobby Lashley does whilst looking that good. You people may have forgotten it though, so I've arranged a little exhibition of sorts for Bobby Lashley right now to properly show all of you what he is capable of and what he is going to do when he gets his hands on Montez Ford, Chris Jericho, or whoever else wants it on his way to getting that Intercontinental Championship for a night too. Good little segment. Hurt Business still kicking. Lashley still wanting that Intercontinental title. Well, next up, Lashley in his exhibition of sorts, as the MVP described it, against Tony Nese. And expectedly, Lashley gets the win, locking Nese in the Hurt Lock to do so for 67. 73 Lashley, 33 Nese, both doing alright, both doing well. But it's Lashley who does get the win and stands to a preview for what will happen if he gets in the ring with the Intercontinental Champion Montez Ford or Chris Jericho. Perhaps. Who's to say? No offense to him. Ford and Jericho, probably better than Nese. But we move backstage to Io Shirai, the Women's World Champion, walking backstage when she is promptly attacked out of nowhere by Naomi and Nia Jax. Laying out Io Shirai, Naomi beating her down, Nia Jax using her strength to take her out a bit more, and Naomi and Nia Jax standing tall over Io Shirai in the end for a 98. Io Shirai wanted someone to step up, and Naomi and Nia Jax still not impressed with Io Shirai, and taking their aggression out on after Naomi's loss perhaps on Io Shirai here. As then, it's time for the main event of this evening. In the WWE Championship number 1 contenders match, Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre versus MJF versus Randy Orton versus Roderick Strong. That took a minute. That's a bit of a mouthful. Match-wise, MJF and Dolph Ziggler kind of focusing on each other. Drew and Orton focusing on each other a bit. Orton wanting revenge on that Claymore from Drew earlier. Drew, from what I was mentioned earlier, maybe harbouring some grudges still towards Orton for beating him for the WWE title in 2020. In the end, Orton taking down Drew with an RKO. He covers him. And he gets a 2 when out of nowhere storms in Sheamus, taking out Orton, beating him up. Drew getting to his feet and Drew McIntyre and Sheamus both attacking Orton. When out rushes Angel Garza, Orton provided support for Garza. Now Garza providing some support for Orton, weapon in hand, helping Orton. In the end, the four men kind of brawling it out to the back, kind of taking themselves out of it, leaving just Dolph, MJF and Roderick Strong. And in the end, Dolph super kick to MJF. MJF bounce back. Manages to get a good shot on Dolph. Dolph dazed. The two men brawling it out. Dolph Ziggler hitting a zigzag on MJF. Well, out of nowhere, Roderick Strong runs in and picks up Dolph and plants him with a backbreaker for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner and the number 1 contender to the WWE Championship is Roderick Strong for a 79. Varying levels, like I said. But most people did pretty well. 82 Drew, 80 Orton, 74 Roderick, 70 MJF, 61 Ziggler. I'm happy. 79 overall. Roderick Strong gets the win. Arm raised. Kyle O'Reilly coming out after the match. Him and Roderick Strong face to face. Kyle saying, "You want this, you got this," raising the title. And Strong saying that, "I do want this. And I do got this. Because I am better than you. And I'm better than Adam Cole. And I'm the one who carried the Undisputed Era. But that's okay. Because you might have looked down on me, Kyle. But not everyone else does. But because Kyle, whilst you wanted to go out on your own, I mean, so did I, but I mean, it would be a crime for me not to provide my mentoring abilities as well now, wouldn't it?" As out of nowhere appears the Creed brothers, Brutus and Julius. Now, very happy Malcolm watching on as Brutus and Julius brutalize Kyle O'Reilly, take him down. They hit that, plant out slam into the running seated clothesline. And then they lift him up. Roderick Strong hits the backbreaker. And then they stand over him. Malcolm handing the title to Strong. And Roderick Strong raises the WWE Championship over Kyle O'Reilly for a 100. Incredible. I think Kyle's really carried that segment probably, but still a 100. Very, very happy. Good episode of Raw. A lot going on. A lot moving. Continuing. The gears turning as we head to Battleground. Overall, this episode of Raw gets us in the 80s probably, because the main event was a 79 rated match. Come on. What is it? 86. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Good show. Good main event. Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly for the WWE title should be good. I am happy. As Raw is over and done with, and Battleground, we continue to move towards, but Battleground isn't a solo pay-per-view. It's a co-branded pay-per-view, Raw and NXT. So let's see what's happening on the black and gold brand heading towards its time for another episode of NXT. And NXT gets underway with King Corbin and Ace Austin coming out to the ring, and they are in a very jovial mood. They're very happy, talking about last week, saying that they have arrived on NXT. Corbin especially gloating, saying Corbin's back. When I was here in NXT originally, I was just Baron Corbin, but now I am King Corbin. One of the biggest names in all of the WWE. And last week, me and Ace Austin made a statement, and we laid out the supposed NXT and NXT North American champions. Because you see, me and Ace Austin are here to take our rightful spots at the top of this brand. And then out comes someone to disagree with them, Dijakovic. Dijakovic, not happy. Dijakovic having a lot of respect for Isaiah Swerve Scott recently as well, last month especially, and the whole thing with Austin Theory. And Dijakovic coming out and very much disagreeing, saying that Corbin is a bully, and if that's whatever. But why doesn't he pick on someone his own size? For a 71, good opening segment, and then next up we have Dijakovic taking on King Corbin, and in the end, King Corbin gets the win, end the days to Dijakovic, and he picks up the victory for 65, 69 Corbin, 41 Dijakovic, both doing alright here, decent little opener. Corbin getting his win in his return to NXT here. As then Corbin and Ace Austin, attacking Dijakovic. How dare you come out and interrupt us? We were in the middle of something. Attacking him when the music of the NXT North American Champion Isaiah Swerve Scott hits, and he rushes out to the ring, and he gets some shots in on Ace Austin. Corbin gets out. Austin then gets out as well. And Swerve gets a mic. And he says, "You two clowns want to come on Swerve's show and do all this, huh? Y'all be this extra, huh? Well, guess what? Y'all talking about NXT championships. Y'all talking about Full House. This is Swerve's house. And Ace Austin, y'all call yourself Ace. But I'm the ace of this card. I'm the ace of this division. I'm the ace of this show. And so you want me, you got me tonight, Ace Austin. If you ain't a coward, I'll see you in the main event. Hell, I even put up this North American Championship for an 82. Swerve standing up for NXT here, issuing that challenge to Ace Austin main event. Swerve versus Ace for the North American title. As then we go backstage, Trey Griffin with Kalisto, and Trey Griffin says that, last week he was impressed by Kalisto. And Kalisto kind of laughing, saying, "You were impressed by me, huh?" Newsflash, Trey. I've been here longer than you. And I'm just better than you. I don't care about impressing you. And I really don't need or want your respect. And then Kalisto out of nowhere with a headbutt to Trey Griffin, stunning him, dropping him down. Kalisto walking away for a 78. Kalisto edgy aside, popping up. He doesn't want to be a joke. He wants to be taken seriously here. And maybe, yes, the headbutt to the Cruiserweight Champion, Trey Griffin here. It's then as advertised last week, we have Andrade taking on Austin Theory. Andrade looking to avenge his defeat to Austin Theory he sustained last month. Theory rolling him up after that distraction from Carmelo Hayes on that occasion. And Andrade wanting to get revenge for that and, prove he is better than Theory. As then, the match. Good match. Both men going for Andrade taking the upper hand a bit when outstorms Destined for Greatness. Not just Carmelo Hayes. He comes on the stage and he says, "Wait a minute." And then he's accompanied by the returning Eli Cassidy and Anthony Ogogo, who were taken out by Legado, of course, late last month. Coming and stormed into the ring, brawling it out with Santos Escobar and Humberto Carrillo, which distracts Andrade and allows Austin Theory to hit him with the A-Town down for the victory for a 78. Austin Theory getting another victory over Andrade, courtesy of Carmelo Hayes and Destined for Greatness. 93 Andrade, 72 Theory, both doing really well. Good match. Happy. Austin Theory getting the win. Andrade most definitely not happy. And very much not happy as, Zelina Vega, Humberto Carrillo, Santos Escobar. They check on it. They're in the ring with him after the match. Theory celebrating. And Destined for Greatness are laughing for an 87. Destined for Greatness very much not done with Legado, and yet after this, especially Legado, not done with Destined for Greatness. As then we go backstage, and Kayla Braxton interviewing Dakota Kai about last week. Dakota Kai saying that Mickie James is all talk, and yet she was beaten. She was beaten by Toni Storm. Toni Storm put someone Dakota Kai has a lot of respect for, Similar backgrounds, similar journeys here. And then in walks Toni Storm, and the two exchange, pleasantries, a lot of respect here. And they both say that they want this fight. Dakota Kai says she wants to fight the best. And she's been around Toni Storm long enough to know that Toni Storm is one of the best. For 71. You know what? Compared to most of the championship stuff, just a nice thing where these two want this fight. They want to see who's the best. It's actually it's quite nice to me. In between all the the attacks and the interferences, it's just nice. As then next up we have one half the Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions, Dominic Mysterio taking on Lince Dorado after Kalisto's actions last night. The rest of his little Lucha House Party looking to stand out for themselves and prove that they can go. And in the end here, Lince Dorado does roll up Dominic Mysterio for the victory for 56. 48 Dominic, 53 Lince, both doing well. As Lince Dorado does pin one half of the Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions here. Lucha House Party on a bit of a roll right now for that 56. As then, next up, it's time for the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Buffett and your boyfriend make their way out to the ring, of course, Grace and Ethan and Reggie accompanying Tiffany and Persia. And then, of course, followed up by the Women's Tag Team Champions, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, not Charles Robinson, Jesus Christ. Charlotte Flair. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair make their entrances, ready to defend their Women's Tag titles for an 87. Still getting 87, though. Good job, Charles. As then, in the match itself, Buffett and your boyfriend taking on Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. In the end, your winners, and still, Women's Tag Team Champions, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair forcing Persia Parada to submit with a figure 8 leg lock in the end here. For an 81, good match, 91 Becky Lynch, 84 Charlotte Flair, 41 Persia Parada, 30 Tiffany Stratton. All doing well. Good match, Persia and Tiffany. It's good experience, I think, for them to get in the ring with these massive superstars like Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Not just because it'll help them, popularity-wise on that. But also, it's just a good learning experience to get in with, these older, more wiser heads like Lynch and Flair. But Lynch and Flair do come out on top here and retain their Women's Tag Team Champions. And you are not the only ones watching that, because then we go backstage to, we find Next Gen's Candice LeRae, Cora Jade, and Roxanne Perez watching that. And Kayla Braxton comes in and asks them about it. And Cora Jade and Roxanne say that, they didn't doubt it. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, two of the best wrestlers on the planet, full stop. Not just women's wrestlers, just wrestlers, full stop. And Cora and Roxanne say that they're ready to, and they want to prove that they're ready for a women's tag team title opportunity. For a 61, Cora Jade and Roxanne ready to prove they are up to going toe-to-toe with Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Can they? Have to wait and find out, because for now it's time for the main event of this evening. Ace Austin and King Corbin make their way out, and then the NXT North American Champion Isaiah Swerve Scott comes out for a 100, ready, not just to defend his NXT North American title, ready to get some revenge, you have to think, on Ace Austin whilst he's here. And then in the main event, Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Ace Austin for the NXT North American Championship. In the end, after a fast-paced matchup, Swerve setting up to hit that Swerve Stomp on Austin. He runs at Austin, and then before he can get there, Corbin is slidden into the ring, charged over, and he catches Swerve and hits him with the End of Days. Isaiah Swerve Scott winning by disqualification here, following that attack from King Corbin and keeping his NXT North American title. But, laid out right now. 88 for the match. Incredible. 80 Swerve, 70 Ace Austin. Both performing well above their thing. They have great chemistry, thankfully. And they've done amazing. Very, very happy with that. Both done really, really well. As after the match, Corbin beating down on Swerve. Ace getting to his feet and joining in. They lift up Swerve. Corbin ready to hit another End of Days, telling Ace to send him to him, when out rushes the NXT champion, Chad Gable, storming down to the ring. Olympic slam to King Corbin, Olympic slam to Ace Austin, both of them rolling out the ring. Chad Gable standing tall, reaching out his hand, lifting up Swerve. And then the two men who were fighting last week to see who the face of NXT was, see whose house it was, standing side by side here, staring down Corbin and Austin for a 91. Incredible, really good main event, really good post, really good episode of NXT here. Corbin and Ace had the advantage, but Gable and Swerve standing tall in the ring to end things here, as this week's episode of NXT gets a rating of 91. Really good, really happy, moving things along, a lot of good matches, a lot of developments going on as we head towards Battleground. I am very happy, going very well, and hopefully we can keep that up next, because Battleground not the only pay-per-view premium live event, of course. We also have No Mercy, and No Mercy is a single branded show, and so let's get to continue building that up, of course, next up with another episode of Smackdown. And Smackdown gets underway with Seth Rollins in a very, very good mood, dancing his way to the ring, and he laughs and he says that last week he said what he said he was gonna do, and he did what he said he was gonna do. He beat AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, in the house that he built at his Smackdown. And Monday Night Rollins, that's what they always call me, but maybe it's Friday Night Rollins. Friday Night freaking Rollins beats AJ Styles in his own house. 1, 2, 3. Because it wasn't a question of if, it was just how long it would take me, because I am the best in the world. Seth Rollins is the best in the world, and Seth Rollins is ready to get his Universal Championship back. And then out comes the Universal Champion, Keith Lee. And Keith Lee says to Seth that I respect you, Seth. I respect your abilities in this ring. I respect the things you have done in this business. I respect that you are a Royal Rumble winner. You are a Money in the Bank winner. You are a multi-time world champion. And I respect all of that. But I do not respect your attitude, and I do not respect the actions that you take. You see, Seth, AJ Styles is a valiant competitor, of course. And SmackDown may be the house that he built, but SmackDown right now, at the top of that house, is the Universal Champion of the world, the limitless one, Keith Lee. And Seth, you don't need to run your mouth anymore. If you want a match for the Universal Championship, just like I told AJ Styles, all you have to do is ask for a 100. Seth, very sure of his abilities. Keith Lee, not impressed with some of Seth's things. Impressed with a lot of Seth. Seth's an impressive guy. And saying that if Seth wants the Universal title match, then Keith ain't got a problem with that. Keith Lee wants to fight the best. Seth Rollins definitely one of them. Before we kick off tonight's show, in ring-wise, with a match between the former $1 Million champion, Deonna Purrazzo, taking on Doudrop. Deonna getting involved last week in the $1 Million Championship Number Contenders match and distracting with Morgan, costing her that match. Sonya Deville coming out on top. And in the end here, Deonna taking on Doudrop. Your winner is Deonna Purrazzo for a 74. Good match. 68 Deonna, 55 Doudrop, both doing well. Deonna comes out on top. And, does look like, taunting Liv Morgan. Deonna not very much impressed with Liv Morgan at the moment, it would seem. As then we have a little promo from Control again. Joe Casey saying that last week, Braun Strowman gave a feat of strength and showed what he is capable of, because the Titan that is Braun Strowman used to be called the monster among men, but he is no different to any of us. He is not a monster. He is a man like you and me. And Braun Strowman, he does not enjoy being called a monster. It hurts his feelings. And so the man that is Braun Strowman, he will help me, and he will help my brothers in arms in our quest to take control and to bring peace to this company and to this business by any means necessary. For a 53, decent. Joe Gacy got to get better on the mic, but you got to build him up, raise his pop and all that. For next up, we have a match between Drew Gulak and Jinder Mahal. And in the end here, we actually have a promo. Kayla Braxton interviewing Apollo Crews, of course we do. God, I literally have a list of the order right on the side of my screen, and I still missed it. Apologies. And Kayla Braxton asked Apollo Crews about Thaddeus Willard. It's a burning question. Apollo Crews is still, he has to speak. We know LA Knight and Socrates Torres, Alfonso Wolf, and Cameron Grimes, all of their positions, but we don't know Apollo Crews. Kayla Braxton asked him about it. Apollo Crews just stands there for a moment, doesn't say anything, not reacting. He looks at Kayla, disinterested in it, not impressed. And then he walks away, leaving the interview. In the end, Apollo Crews still, God knows where his head's at in regard to Bullard brand and all of that as well. A 93 for that though, really good promo from Apollo Crews as always. And then we have that match between Drew Gulak and Jinder Mahal. And in the end, Drew Gulak comes out on top of the Cyclone Clash for a 66. Good match. 59 Mahal, 57 Gulak. Both doing well. Drew Gulak comes out on top. Gulak, getting the better of Xavier Woods last week. Getting the win here. Building a little momentum is Gulak. And speaking of Woods, Woods storms out from behind. He goes to attack Gulak, but Gulak managing to kind of duck underneath and reverse it, lifting Woods up and then slamming him to the mat. Woods immediately rolling out the ring before Gulak can hit him anymore. Gulak coming out on top against Xavier Woods once again. Xavier Woods not very happy, not very impressed for an 80. Good match, good post-match, very happy. I'm pleased. As next up, we have a match between the $1 Million champion Bianca Belair and one third of No Mercy, Tay Conti. And in the end, Bianca Belair versus Tay Conti. Bianca Belair comes down top with KOD for a 72. Good match, 66 Bianca, 56 Tay, both doing well. Decent little match between the pair. And the $1 Million Champion does come out on top in the end before a promo from the Bloodline, or at the very least what's left of it. Roman Reigns sitting in his chair, one side Solo Sikoa, the other side Jey Uso. Jey Uso still, Solo's very focused, in his appearance and what. But Jey, a little bit less, He seemed hesitant about taking out Jimmy last week at the very least. And Roman says that a good leader sees when somebody is bringing the team down. And a good leader, no matter who that person is, knows that when it's time to cut the dead wood from the tree, then you have to do it. The tribal chief is not a good leader, he is the leader. And so when the time came to cut the dead wood from the tree, I do it every time without remorse. Jacob Fatu was hurting our family, hurting my bloodline, and so he had to get cut out. Jimmy Uso was hurting our family, hurting my bloodline, and so he needed to get cut out. And if anyone else decides to start hurting our family, hurting my bloodline, then they'll get cut out too. But right now, the bloodline, my bloodline, is right where it needs to be. For all 100, Roman Reigns very sure of his decision to kick Jacob Fatu out, kick Jimmy Uso out. Very, very sure indeed. Before it's time for the main event, as advertised last week, for the Smackdown Tag Team Championships, LA Knight and Socrates Torres take on the champions Bronson Reed and Samoa Joe. A strong match between the two teams, all going at it, all wanting to come out on top here. Reed and Joe want to keep the belts, Knight and Torres wanting to win them. And in the end, Samoa Joe having Socrates Torres in the coquina clutch from behind, standing up, when out of nowhere, the referee was a little bit distracted that night at ringside or whatever. Alfonso Bourbon in the ring, kick to the back of Samoa Joe, lets go of Torres, and then turns around angrily to look at Alfonso Bourbon. Bourbon, arms still in a sling, a bit like, oh. The referee noticing now, told Bourbon's going to the ring. Joe approaching Bourbon. Bourbon gets down on his knees, kind of, one-handed pleading with Joe not to hit him. Joe getting really close. And then out of nowhere, Alfonso Bourbon pulls his arm from his sling and low blows Samoa Joe, giving Bronson Reed and Samoa Joe the victory by disqualification. But, Joe going down, low blowed out by Alfonso Bourbon, pulling his arm from the cast to do so. Sling, not cast. Alfonso Bourbon, a lot better, clearly. For an 88, amazing main event, as you'd expect. 89 LA Knight, 80 Bronson Reed, 76 Socrates Torres, 74 Samoa Joe, all doing really well. As Bronson Reed and Samoa Joe do keep their titles. And then after the match, Bronson Reed trying to get involved, but Knight, Torres, Bourbon a little bit, and Cameron Grimes beating down on him as well. And in the end, Knight, Bourbon, Torres, and Grimes stand tall over the fallen Smackdown Tag Team Champions for an 84. Good, really good main event, good post. Very, very pleased with that. As then afterwards we have commercial, whatever, and then out comes the Women's Universal Champion Ronda Rousey, and Ronda Rousey's happy. Finally done with Shayna Baszler, she says. She says she beat her at WrestleMania to win the Women's Universal Championship, and then at the Premium Live event a few weeks back, WrestleMania Backlash, her, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair defeated No Mercy. She beat Shayna Baszler again. Even with Tay Conti and Sonya Deville there, Ronda Rousey still beat Baszler and retained her Women's Universal Championship. And Ronda Rousey said she's happy to finally be done with Ronda, to finally get to move on to another challenger, another deserving and worthy opponent available on SmackDown for 100. And Ronda asks, whoever wants to step up to the baddest women on the planet to do so, turning to the ramp. And at that point, they're from behind. Shayna Baszler attacks Ronda Rousey, stiff elbow to the back of the head, taking her down, beating her out, going outside, grabbing a steel chair, pounding away at Ronda Rousey when she's on the floor, eventually placing the steel chair around Ronda Rousey's arm. Medics, road agents, whatever, coming out pleading with Shayna not to do it, and then Shayna stomping on it. Ronda Rousey clutching her arm in pain after it being crushed in the steel chair. Shayna Baszler just kind of laughing at Ronda for an 85. Ronda happy to be done. Shayna, it seems, not quite done yet. 85 for that. I'm happy. Good end to the show. Good SmackDown overall, I think. Overall rating of 93. Yeah, a lot of good segments, moving a lot of things forward. Good main event. Very, very happy. As another solid week of action heading on the road to our next Premium Live event specials, No Mercy and Battleground. Did you enjoy the shows this week? If you did, let me know in the comments down below. What's your favourite part? What did you enjoy the most? What are you looking forward to coming up in the coming weeks and in the future? What do you want to see going forward as well? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you did enjoy, as always, leave a like, subscribe for more. And I just want to say thank you for watching.